Now out in cinemas is Mortal Kombat II, the sequel to the 2021 reboot of the series. The Mortal Kombat movie franchise had struggled to be kickstarted for years after Mortal Kombat Annihilation had stopped the series in its tracks in 1997 due to being god-awful. But in the world of video games, the franchise has continued to thrive with more sequels and remakes further expanding the lore and success of Mortal Kombat. Director Scott McQuaid, who had made his directorial debut with the 2021 movie, is back as the director, along with the core cast returning as well. Johnny Cage wasn't introduced into the first film. McCoy said the reason why he didn't appear was due to him being a giant personality and would throw the film out of balance. He revealed that potential sequels could explore the material for characters like Cage and Katana. He also expressed that he would like to include more female characters, and the sequel does that, featuring Shiva, Katana and Jade. Filming began in June of 2023 in Australia, but was paused in mid-July due to the writers' strike and resumed in mid-November, and finished filming in late January of 2024. It was previously scheduled to release on the 24th of October of last year, but was delayed until May of this year. The reviews so far have been very mixed, which is what you kind of expect from video game adaptations, with Empire awarding it 3 out of 5, saying creatively gory fighting and amusing if shallow characters just about compensate for the paper-thin story. But at its best, it's a lot of dumb fun. Total Film also awarded it 3 stars out of 5, saying Mortal Kombat 2 delivers on pretty much everything you could reasonably expect from a Mortal Kombat movie, for better or worse. In the golden age of video game adaptations, Mortal Kombat 2 is nothing special ultimately, and the over-reliance on pop culture references means it already feels a bit outdated. But as far as Friday Night Fodder goes, it hits the mark. And finally, grumpy Robbie Collin for the Daily Telegraph awarded it 1 out of 5, saying, "Someone needs to finish off the gory Mortal Kombat franchise for good. Every fight, and I do mean every last one, consists of a few minutes of sub-matrix thrashing while computer-generated blood sprays around before one combatant gets impaled on something, perhaps a spear or a sharp hat. Then pulls an oh dear I'm dead face. The latest flick based on the popular video game is amnesia-inducing in its tedium and predictability." For the film's plot, the movie picks up right after Mortal Kombat 1, with Raiden and Sonya searching for their 5th champion. Along with Liu Kang, Jax and Cole Young, they find Johnny Cage in a car park packing away his unsold items after an unsuccessful appearance at a comic convention. He is informed he has chosen to take part in Mortal Kombat to protect the Earthrealm from being taken over by Shao Kahn, who rules Outworld with an iron fist. Shao Kahn, in his attempts to get the upper hand on Raiden to win the 10th tournament, gets Quan Chi to revive Kung Lao and Kano to take part in Mortal Kombat. Johnny Cage takes some convincing to take part, but declines, feeling he's not the guy he once was, but the gods who chose him don't make mistakes.
It's showtime.
I had some reservations before seeing Mortal Kombat 2. The trailers very much relied on nostalgia to hook you in, with a Mortal Kombat theme, though remixed, and the classic voiceover from the game like "finish him," etc. But my problem with it is that it looked too artificial. Lots of green screen compositing, and some shots looked better than others. The first film felt more grounded with more on-location filming. Sure, it had its fantastical elements and locations that had to be created in the computer, but Mortal Kombat 2 seemed to lean too much on the CGI, making for a live-action film looking like a video game, i.e. not that realistic. To be honest, I had fallen out of love with Mortal Kombat years ago. I play it now and again, as I have a lot of nostalgia for Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, but when it came to beat-em-ups, I was far more interested in Street Fighter, hence why I made a documentary about it. The trailer for the new Street Fighter film looks completely bonkers, which is definitely the right direction, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't be interested in a live-action Mortal Kombat sequel. The trailers just didn't get me that excited, and visually I wasn't won over by it. With the story now focusing on Outworld, which is this fantasy world with a mix of wastelands and castles, the marketing and the trailers were pushing that the story was going to be all about Johnny Cage, which is actually not the case. Yes, he's the one they hunt down first to take part in Mortal Kombat, and he's very reluctant to do so, but as you might expect, he gets pulled into combat, but a large chunk of the story focuses around Katana. Johnny Cage to me was perfectly suited for action star Scott Adkins. It just makes sense for him to play that role, but it's clear Warner Brothers wanted a bigger name, going with Carl Urban, who isn't a martial artist and is clearly doubled a lot throughout the film, and that's even an in-joke in the movie, that Cage admits to being doubled for his fight scenes in his own films. But saying that, Carl is always great to watch. He is one of the highlights of The Boys, and he gave us a great performance as Judge Dredd. The story does generally stick to the narrative of the classic games, and as we've seen them be remade over the years, things still slot into place, making it familiar, though I'm not too knowledgeable about the extended lore of Mortal Kombat, as it got a bit too crazy over the years and tough to keep track of. but I didn't feel lost or confused, though if you are not familiar with Mortal Kombat and have been dragged along by a friend or a partner, you'll probably find the plot to be a load of old silly bollocks. Mortal Kombat 1 from 2021 was an enjoyable video game adaptation. I refreshed myself with it again recently, and I still had a lot of fun watching it. Good solid action in places, with Kano still being the highlight of the movie, getting the best lines.
That the only move you know, mate? Ah! No, fuck.
But I do recall some fans being a bit upset with this remake, that it didn't get to the main tournament, but was focused about bringing the heroes of Earthrealm together to train and to discover their hidden powers, classic prequel territory. But it also threw in characters from the sequel video games, and had Goro turn up and be killed off in a bland location by the new character Cole Young, who was a descendant of Scorpion. I didn't have a problem with Lewis Tan, he does a serviceable job, but throwing a new character into the mix when you already have a wide roster of characters to choose from seemed a bit pointless to me. And it did feel like he was created to be a window for people who are unfamiliar with the series to be informed of how the rules and the world of Mortal Kombat works. But the premise is pretty straightforward, and you can just get Raiden to explain the rules to Liu Kang or Sonya. The 1995 film didn't have that problem. The film basically continues where the first one left off, and quickly the heroes are thrown into combat. The fight sequences are nicely choreographed and shot well. The director is very mindful of capturing the video game with the framing, having this traditional side-on view as the fighters battle it out without cutting away to a close-up, allowing the actors to show off their skills. And with a rating of a 15, it doesn't shy away from the fatalities. The original Mortal Kombat from 1995, which had the same rating, though a lot stricter back then, was criticised for the lack of gore. Though Mortal Kombat 2 doesn't go too over the top, it's gory enough to please the fans who want some gooey fatalities, with the final one of the film being the most entertaining for me. Now, the film isn't all about the characters waiting around to fight. They do have a side quest which opens up the story to have a plot outside of who is going to fight who next, though not original in the slightest, as Liu Kang, Sonya, Johnny Cage and Jax have to hunt down this item to weaken Shao Kahn, which offers some humour and a change of pace. Kano and Kung Lao do return, thanks to magic from Outworld, and Kano again still has the best lines. To be fair, Carl Urban gets some good put-downs, but Josh Lawson still takes the top spot for delivering the most entertaining performance. When it comes to the score of Mortal Kombat 2, Benjamin Wallfisch returns and again provides a big orchestral score, with a few nods to the classic Techno Syndrome tune from the 90s. The music does a fine job during the fight scenes and during a couple of emotional moments, though it didn't quite stand out to me compared to George S. Clinton's work for the 1995 film, but it still did a good job to elevate the material. During the end credits they throw in a remix of the classic Techno Syndrome track, but it sounded shrill and lacked the bass of the original. These modern remixes are always poor in comparison. Just use the original track, guys. As they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So fans of Mortal Kombat, they should have a lot of fun watching this. It treats the source material relatively seriously and is happy to make fun of itself from time to time. The fight scenes are very entertaining, and it actually exceeded my expectations, as to be honest they were pretty low to begin with. For a 2-hour movie it seemed to whip by. You won't remember much about the plot shortly afterwards, as it's nothing special and very by the numbers, but you will definitely have a laugh watching it. The film doesn't seem to be catering for or desperate for new fans. It seems very much aimed at the existing fanbase, and the filmmakers seem to know what they want. A solid 3 out of 5 film. You've seen it all before, but it essentially provides some comfort food for an entertaining Friday night out at the cinema.
Excellent. Flawless victory.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to click the like button and hit the bell to be notified of my latest reviews. Big thanks to my patrons and YouTube members for supporting the channel. If you want to get involved and gain access to exclusive videos and take part in Q&As, follow the link below.